what books had a big impact on your life that you've read? Is there any that jump to mind that you learned from as a writer, as a philosopher, as a mathematician, as an engineer?
Mm-hmm. This is one of these questions where I always blank out, and then when I'm walking out the door, I'll remember 12 of them.
So this is a random selection that doesn't represent the top
ones. Well, I mentioned, Gulag Archipelago. That's kind of a hefty and dark, but...
And then it has a personal connection as well.
Yeah, because
it's like where you found the book too. Like
right.
The time in your life, where you found it,
yeah.
who recommended it. That's also part of the story.
Yeah. So there's definitely that. There's, I circle back to Moby Dick a lot because we read it in a really great English class I had in high school, and I came in with an oppositional stance because I thought that the teacher was going to try to talk me into having all kinds of highfalutin ideas about allegory and what does this mean and what's the symbolism. And it turned out that it turned out to be a lot more interesting and satisfying than that.
What was the first powerful book you remember reading that like convinced you that this form could have depth? Was it Moby Dick? Was it like in high school?
I'm trying to remember. Well, Moby Dick was definitely a big one. I used to read a lot of classics comics when I don't know if you've seen these. It's a whole series of comic books that it was viral. You could, in the back of each comic book was an order form. You could check some boxes and fill out your address and mail it in, and more would show up. But it was like, they would do The Count of Monte Cristo, Moby Dick, Robert Louis Stevenson, Robinson Crusoe, all the sort of classic books they had put into comic book form.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Reading Moby Dick, if you're 9 years old, is a tall order. There's some very complicated sentences in there.
Yeah.
And a lot of digressions. But if you're just looking at the comic book, it's like, holy shit, look at that whale. And
ultimately the power of the story doesn't need the complicated words. It's all about the man and the whale.
Yeah. So you could get kind of a grounding in a lot of classic works of literature without actually reading them, which is, it's great when you're 9 years old. So I read a lot of that stuff.